We don't have any way to message Paige Gomez without letting him in, do we? All right, do me a favor. I'm gonna let him in for about a minute. Send him a chat. It says watch live on YouTube. Yeah.
You have audio from the jail?
I do.
Great. All right.
Yeah, better audio than normal. So that's great.
Good.
Okay, she's in.
It's right here.
All the females except for the last two are here.
Okay, they're further in the docket.
Huh?
They're further in the docket.
Yeah, they're like at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then the guys, next first group of guys are here.
Thank you. Now let me find him again.
Okay, Anderson's here.
Give him a minute to read the chat, and then I'm gonna hit remove. Okay, they're gone. If you can hear me in the jail, the only change I'm aware of so far is we do not need Jesse Johnson at a G1A, 1L.
Okay.
Judge, I'll also inform you, Daryl Frazier is not in custody. He made bond, and I believe I talked to Mr. Harpold about that, and he had a hold from the United States Marshal's Office, and they picked him up, and my understanding, he is either in somewhere in San Antonio on his way to Waco.
Okay. Let me find him in the docket, Clay.
Page 6 at the bottom, Your Honor.
Okay. Is that the only one you have?
No, sir, I have Christopher Tiarina.
Okay.
Jesse Johnson off, you guys. Mark Jesse Johnson off.
But Judge, I will say this on Christopher Tiarina. Mr. Harpold and I have resolved that case, and I actually had gone out to the jail, but they forgot about me and I didn't get the paperwork signed on Friday. So I had asked Steve to put him on the plea docket for the 5th.
That's correct, Judge.
So we can go ahead and cross him off.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he could be reset, and I'll go get the paperwork signed today or tomorrow.
Yeah, but somebody forgot about that. Yeah.
And that is all I have.
It's what? No, I'm looking. There he is, second page. Okay. I think it's what he said. All right, he's crossed off, Clay.
All right, I'll see you on Friday. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good job. Okay. And let's- Let me let the other attorneys in, then we'll make a general. Pose that question to everybody. God dang it. Gone. I'll just quit letting everybody in. All right, council, if you have anybody on this afternoon's docket that you've either resolved your issues or for whatever reason you do not need them to appear before the court, if you would speak up now, we would appreciate it so that the jail can modify their procedures to make everything flow a little more efficiently.
Hey, Judge, I've got Virginia Raper, and she had 3 extra cases that I didn't have last time, and we haven't had a chance to go over the new 3 cases, so I don't need her today.
Thank you. She's on, looks like page 5. Okay, she's crossed off, David. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Your Honor, Elizabeth Gilder.
That's the first one.
On.
Okay,
Elizabeth Gilder?
I crossed off Ms. Gilder.
Yeah, we filed our election, or will be filing our election to the jury.
Okay, Ms. West, you want to jump in?
Just Mr. Dees, Troy Dees is my client, Your Honor. I actually just sent Mr. Harpold an email. I tried to chat you, Mr. Harpold, to see if you could check your email.
Sorry.
No, there was no way for you. I don't know how that works. But anyways, I don't know that we need to do anything today, Your Honor.
Let me find him.
And then if you can let me know, Mr. Harpold, a good time to call you.
Yeah, I'll check it right now.
Okay, he's crossed
Yes,
off.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. May I be
Judge.
excused, Your Honor?
You may. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, Clifford Cohanan, it's a motion to revoke. I haven't had time to meet with him yet. I got appointed on the 10th. What
There he
page
is.
it?
Very last page.
What's the name, Judge?
Bohannon.
Cohanan.
Okay,
Let's move him to the 326 docket.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Sure.
Judge, I've got
Anybody
three.
else?
Yeah, I've got 3, Judge. I've got one, which is Destiny Force, and we don't have labs back on her yet. I checked with Mr. Burdick probably about a week and a half ago. They still hadn't come in yet. I was
Okay.
going to ask for a reset on her. And then Defender's Office got appointed 2, which was a Daniel Ayala and a Jesse, I think it's Perone. They were telling me that the court's giving us like automatic waivers on those and setting them out 60 days.
No, you got.
I don't know if that's accurate. That's just what I was told. I
don't think they understand. What I told them was that when the scheduling orders go out, the first setting is 60 days out.
Okay, that's fine. Well, then we'll just get them arraigned right quick.
Or you can file waivers of arraignment and we can send you the scheduling order, whichever way you prefer.
Well, let's do it that way because I need to go out to the jail and see him anyway, so I can just take some waiver forms.
Okay, and it's Perone, and who was the other one?
Ayala.
is it Pinton? Judge, Jesse Pinton?
Where's Perone? Leland, I don't see either one on the docket, so I think you're good to go on them.
Okay, yeah, they had him down for in court on March 1st, 21. But if you don't have them on your docket, then I guess they're not there.
I don't see him on the docket either.
Yeah, I don't see them. So yeah,
Okay.
just follow the waivers and we'll get you the scheduling orders.
All right, appreciate it, Judge. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Your Honor, for me, I don't need Miss Hastings on the first page. And
Okay.
then Mr. Nicholas on page 4. And Mr. Trammell and Mr. Oliva. I don't need those 4.
Trammell was on page number 3. Looks like, Your Honor.
Yes, sorry.
There's Trammell. Okay. Page 3.
That's where I
Second.
found.
All right, anybody else?
Yes, Judge, on William Schreiber, I think we don't need to do anything today. We're just awaiting the final pretrial and a trial setting.
That's page 3, Your Honor, on the top.
Is it set for 2801 or pretrial today?
We've already done the election, I believe.
Okay. So we just need to get him on the trial docket?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Judge, I've got a couple more whenever you're ready.
Hang on half a second. Deborah, do you need another pretrial before trial?
I'd like that, yes.
Okay, let's set pretrial on April 5th and then May 3rd and then trial May 4th.
So a pretrial on April 5th and then another pretrial on May the 3rd and trial on the 4th.
Correct.
Thank you, Judge. What are the chances?
Excellent.
Good.
David, you had something else?
Yes, sir. I got Jacob Martin on page 4. I'm going to come out tomorrow and visit with him at the jail and visit with Mr. Harpold in his office. So that I have no motions filed for today.
Okay, and you can waive arraignment on that one?
Yes, sir, I can.
On Jacob Martin, David, did we decide what we were doing on those?
No, they gave me another case.
Because I have been working with Ben on those.
If you've been working with Ben, why don't you take the case?
Okay.
You've already been working on it.
Then I'll send you over some motions for substitution of counsel.
Sounds great.
Okay, perfect.
I'll sign them and get them back to you.
Sounds good.
Okay. And then
Who
Judge,
else?
I've got 2 more, the same situation.
Who are they?
On page 5, I believe it's Najee Ray and John Ellis. I've got to go visit with Mr. Harpold about these cases. Looks like they're both probably going to end up on the trial docket eventually, but we got to talk about some evidentiary issues.
Okay, set both of those on April 5th.
Yes, sir. I think that's all I've got today. I'm just going to go see Mr. Harpold tomorrow, if that's okay with you.
Stephen? That's a question to you, not me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I come see you tomorrow morning?
Well, I will tell you that I'm extremely backlogged. So let me look at my calendar. And I'll
Just
call you here.
Just call me, let me know. And I'm at your convenience. I'll make it work.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just busier than I've ever been. So apologize for that.
No, no worries.
Okay.
Well, thank you much.
Okay, anybody else?
Kurt Rudkin, I have 2 are arraignments that I've filed waivers on.
Who is it, Kurt?
Page 9, Joseph Rodriguez, filed a waiver on him. I think it's been signed, actually. And page 12.
Hang on.
Okay.
Rodriguez.
Joseph Rodriguez.
Okay, and who's after Mr. Rodriguez?
Pardon me?
Who's after Mr. Rodriguez?
Page 12, Count Zonson, Paul Reyes Coutzonson. I'm sure that's a horrible pronunciation. Page 12, middle of the page. Filed a waiver on him as well.
Okay, and what's the last one?
Last one is Jeffrey Philhart. We have set him for non-jury trial, bench trial on 3/31.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm looking for him in here.
7.
There he is. Okay.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Judge, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Martin, since they're going to substitute counsel, does Mr. Winsky still need to see him?
Hang on real quick. We got something going on with the cell. What are they doing? Okay.
Judge,
Sorry.
Your Honor, I've got 2 more on here that I have no motions and I need to talk to Steve and then the clients. If one's Jesse Penton, the other is Lana Anderson. They're towards the end.
Anderson's on page 2. And who's the other one? After
Jesse
Anderson?
Penton. Next to last page, Jesse Penton.
Yeah. What do you have? Well, it's because there's nothing on it saying he has other counsel.
And I have another one that Todd and I had agreed we would do today. I don't see her. Zavala, that plea we started last week.
Yeah, hang on real quick.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
this one needs to be amended. Yeah, Jesse Penton actually picked up a new charge that because his application wasn't marked that you'd previously been appointed, got assigned to somebody else. So let me give you a cause number and then we're gonna have to get you substituted in.
Yes, sir.
It's B2122.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the same one Leland was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
There you go. We just need to do an amended one. Yeah. Okay.
And then the only other thing is Stacy Zavala, to get her done today, if possible.
She on here?
She's not on the list. Todd said we would add her.
What's the cause number?
Just bear with me. She's got 2.
We're going to finish up the plea on Stacy Zavala, but Rick's looking up the cause numbers so that we know which files to pull. Nope.
Okay, here it is. It's B19886 and 887.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, if you can hear me in the jail, let's go through the docket real quick. On page 1, we do not need Elizabeth Gilder or Lila Hastings.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Page 2, we do not need Lana Anderson, Destiny Force, or Christopher Tiarena.
Okay,
Next page, we do not need William Schreiber or Kenneth Trammell.
okay,
Next page, we do not need Jacob Martin or Abraham Nicholas.
okay,
The next page, we do not need Virginia Raper, Najee Ray, or John Ellis.
okay,
Next page, we do not need Daryl Frazier.
okay,
Next page, we do not need Jeffrey Philhart.
okay,
Then we jump a page. Then we do not need Joseph Rodriguez or Lucia Oliva, excuse me.
okay,
And then the next page, we do not need Jesse Johnson.
okay,
Next page, we do not need Troy Deese.
okay,
Next page, we do not need Paul Calzonson.
okay,
Nor do we need Jesse Penton at the
Okay.
top. Sorry about that. And then the last page, we do not need Clifford Bohannon.
okay.
You have to do better than that, I mean. All right, so I guess the first person we'll be starting with will be Rebecca Prier.
I just wrote her in. I don't know.
Thank you.
This is Eduardo Jimenez, Judge. May I have a word briefly?
Sure.
I've got two, I practice out of San Antonio, Bexar County mostly. I have two 130s on the Bexar County docket. I prioritized this one to let them know I had to be in Kerrville by Zoom. But really it's a pretrial. I think it's a first appearance and we just need a reset.
Who is it?
It's a Keaton Vasquez, case number B20582. Keaton Vasquez.
Here he is. Okay, we'll pass him to the next one.
All right, thank you, Judge. Okay.
Keaton Vasquez, Vasquvz, 8. Four, 5. All right. Really? Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Be sure you speak up or we won't be able to hear you on this end, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Court will call cause number B20-120, the state of Texas versus Rebecca, is it Prier?
Prier, yes, sir.
Rebecca Prier for purposes of pretrial. What say the parties?
State's ready.
Your Honor, defense isn't ready. We're still waiting on drug analysis.
Looks like that's correct, Your Honor, but we're ready for pretrial to talk about the case.
Yeah, pretrial, I have no motions at this time.
No motions from the state, Your Honor.
All right, let's reset it for May 3rd unless we get our drug results sooner, and then we'll move it up.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mel.
Rebecca, I'll come out and we'll talk about everything, okay?
You're gonna come talk to me?
Yes, ma'am. Not today, but I will.
Okay, thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. The Costa will be next.
Okay.
Thank you. For Mr. Ortiz, did he give notice?
When the court has a moment, can I ask a quick question, Judge?
I'm sorry?
So when the court has a moment, can I ask a quick question?
Sure. Let me get through this hearing and then you can shoot away.
Sorry.
Court will call cause number B20-519, 520, and 521. The state of Texas versus Shauna DaCosta. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
It's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues to address?
And from the state, Your Honor.
None at this time, Your Honor.
All right, it looks like our next scheduled appearance for the court is April 5th. So we'll see everybody back next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, fire away, Mr. Bailiff.
Yes, Your Honor. Does the court also have the Bandera County jail cases? Because I just see Kerr County on the screen. My guy was incarcerated at Bandera County.
No, this should just be Kerr County on this docket.
Okay. I have Claiborne Stevenson set today, and I know he's incarcerated, but I think he's incarcerated in Bandera County.
He was in the morning docket.
Yeah, he's the morning docket.
Yeah, he was on the morning docket, but we didn't know he was incarcerated in another county.
Yes, I showed up at 8:30 at the morning docket, and that.
Oh, he's the one that was set for 1:30. Okay. Yeah, but he showed up this morning and made an announcement. I can tell you, we don't. If he's in Bandera County, we do not have Bandera County online.
Okay. It's a motion to withdraw anyway, Your Honor, which I filed. I need to send it to him over in Bandera County. He's going to sign off on it. I don't think there's going to be an issue. So that way he had another case that came up. So maybe you can get appointed lawyer on that one and on mine, and I can just walk away from his representation. You know, that would be my hope.
Yeah, if you'll sign off on it as soon as I get it, I can approve that. But be sure, and if he's going to ask for court-appointed counsel, tell him to ask for both cases.
I will. I'll take care of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vela. We have the new and improved. Perfect, thank you. Is that?
Oh.
Okay, I'll deal with this a little bit.
Are we ready for Mr. Lackey, Judge?
We are. Do what? Good afternoon, Mr. Lackey.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Court will call cause number B20-283, the state of Texas versus Henry Lackey for purposes of pretrial. What said the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any pretrial issues we need to address today?
None from the state, Your Honor.
None at this time, Your Honor.
It looks like we're still waiting lab results on this case.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right, well, let's set it for May 3rd, and if we get the results sooner, then let's come back to court sooner.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lackey.
Not over here.
Thanks for not launching those. That means I turn my back. Oh, this from Manuel? Yeah. I don't think you're gonna need them. Good afternoon, Mr. Manuel. Give me just 1 second to get this organized. What they did. Ready, Paul? Court will call cause number B21, 25, and 26, the state of Texas versus Ronaldo Mejia Jr. for purposes of agreed pleas. What say the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Ferguson?
about that, Judge.
Are you ready to proceed with the agreed pleas?
I am ready, Your Honor.
First document we need to go through in each of these cases, gentlemen, is the 3914 Discovery Disclosure and Compliance Form, each of which purports to have each of your signatures on it. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
That is correct, Your Honor.
To the best of your knowledge, has the state received all the discovery from law enforcement and forwarded the same to the defense on each of these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ferguson, to the best of your knowledge, have you received all the discovery on both cases?
I have, Your Honor.
Is there any objection to going through the admonishments together?
No objection.
No objection.
Mr. Mejia, I'm going to show you one document. It's entitled Defendants Plea of Guilty, Waivers, and Admonishments. There's in fact two. There's one in each case. Did you have a chance to go through both of those documents with your attorney?
Yes, sir. I have.
Did you understand both of those documents?
Yes, sir. I have.
Do you understand in each case you have a right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand in each case you have a right for your attorney to cross-examine the state's witnesses and to call your own witnesses?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand in each case you have a right to appeal?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you're waiving all three of those rights in both cases today?
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent? Nobody can require you to testify against yourself, but you can in fact waive that right.
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of each of these documents, it purports to have your signature in two different locations. You recall signing your signature in two locations on each document on page 3?
Yes, sir.
I managed to confuse that question, so let me show you.
Yes, sir. I have.
Okay, is that your signature?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Your second signature on each one appears underneath a paragraph entitled Judicial Confessions and Stipulations. You understand that by signing that paragraph, it's just like you stood up here before the court, raised your hand and said, I did what the state's accused me of doing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Attached to the back of each one of these documents is a copy of the grand jury's indictment for that particular case. Each one of these indictments purports to have your signature on it. Do you recall going through both indictments with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
And are you asking the court to accept as true and correct both grand jury indictments today?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like your client understands his rights, waivers, and admonishments in both cases?
I do, Your Honor.
In B2125, Mr. Mejia, you have 5 counts of burglary of a building enhanced to a third-degree felony. Each one of these counts carries a range of punishment of 2 to 10 years incarceration and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand the charge and the range of punishment in each of these counts?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
I am guilty for no other reason.
And are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
And as to the enhancement paragraphs, just to make sure the record is correct, are you pleading true to those?
Yes, sir.
In B2126, you've been charged with unlawful use of a criminal instrument enhanced. This is also a state jail felony enhanced to a third-degree felony with a range of punishment of 2 to 10 years incarceration and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand this charge and this range of punishment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
that I am guilty. Yes, sir.
And just to make the record clear on this one, as to the enhancement paragraphs, are you also pleading true?
Yes, sir.
You feel like your client's competent and capable of assisting you in preparation for trial in both cases?
I do, Your Honor.
Are there plea agreements in both cases?
Yes, Your Honor. The state recommends 5 years TDC JID on all cases. On count number 1 in B2025, there's a restitution of $6,304.97 to state auto insurance. Then on count 2 of B2125, there's a restitution in the amount of $20,953.59, again to state auto insurance. All of these should run concurrently, and he has 91 days jail credit for all the cases.
Ferguson, is that your understanding of the plea agreements?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Mejia, is that your understanding of each of the plea agreements?
Yes, yes, sir.
And do you understand that plea agreements are agreements between you and the state? They're not binding on the court, but if the court did not accept any one of your plea agreements, you would have the opportunity to withdraw your pleas of guilty, enter pleas of not guilty, and proceed to trial.
I understand.
And are you asking the court to follow all 6 of these plea agreements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Cause number B21-25, counts 1 through 5, the court will find evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to enter a finding of guilt. In each of these counts will order you confined in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a period of 5 years. Each of them will be concurrent with each other. In count 1, you have court costs in the amount of $365. You have restitution in the amount of $6,304.97. In count 2, you don't have any court costs, but you have restitution in the amount of $20,953.59. Count 3 does not have any cost or restitution. Count 4 does not have any cost or restitution. And count 5 does not have any cost or restitution. In each of these, you have jail credit in the amount of 91 days. Do you have any questions on any of these 5 judgments?
No, Your Honor.
In B21-26, the court will find evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to enter a finding of guilt. Pursuant to your plea agreement, will order you confined in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a period of 5 years concurrent with the other cases. In this one, you have court costs in the amount of $365. You have reimbursement fees in the amount of $1,260. You have jail credit in the amount of 91 days. And this will run concurrent with the others. Do you have any questions on this charge, or excuse me, on this judgment?
No, sir.
In addition to that, there's an admonishment page that you signed off on that you cannot be in possession of a firearm or ammunition. Do you recall signing that page?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that you cannot possess a firearm or ammunition?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions at all?
No, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Mejia. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is hot here. I'm dying. The RAC's obviously crashed and burned again. Are you bragging again? Okay, that should be everything. Should be. I won't swear to you I got it all, but it should be. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Pernada. Court will call cause number B 20-169 and 170, the state of Texas versus Devin Pernada. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
Defendant is ready for pretrial, Your Honor.
Sorry, Your Honor, I was muted. State's ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
We might have one, Your Honor. I need to coordinate with the district attorney to get the juvenile records of the victim. And the juvenile people told me I need to get an order probably from the court. So I was going to contact him and see if we can circulate an agreed order for the judge to review.
Okay. Send over and I'll look at it and then we can go from there.
Thank you.
Okay, what else?
That's it. I received my discovery from the DA, trying to get the last of what I need.
Mr. Rosenbach?
That nothing from the state at this time, Your Honor.
All right, let's reset it for April 5th, and at that point, we'll figure out if we have all of our discovery and how to proceed from there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all.
I turned on my camera, but you'd notice that I was driving. I just picked up my sister from the hospital.
Oh, I hope she's okay.
Yes, sir. It's a good thing going home from the hospital.
It is. Well, it's a beautiful picture of your family. So.
Yes, yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Oscar. You might want to just keep that up.
It is much more attractive than me.
You said it. I didn't say it.
All right. Be safe.
So, careful. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You bet.
Pull over to the one restaurant that's
I don't know who LG Harmony 4 is. Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parr. Court will call cause number B 20-566, the state of Texas versus Stephen Parr. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
And I believe we have an agreement. Is that right, Kurt?
We do indeed.
So when do you want to do that on the 4-9 or what do you want to do that on?
4-9 is fine because there's going to be some additional time to be served, so 4-9 works.
All right, we're going to reset your case for April 9th, and we'll see you back then for an agreed plea. Thank you. Mr. Cabanas, you'll be up next.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. This is one we need an interpreter on, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Ramirez.
Perdón, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor Ramírez, ¿me escucha?
Sí, sí lo escucho.
Voy a ser su intérprete el día de hoy, ¿eh? Ok.
Ok, gracias.
We're ready, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court will call calls number B19, 919, 920, and 921, the state of Texas versus Juan Ramirez.
El estado de Texas está llamando a la causa B19, 919, 920 y 921, el estado de Texas contra Juan Carlos Ramírez.
For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Pregunta a las dos partes cuáles son sus anuncios. Básicamente, tanto el estado como su abogado dicen que están listos.
Do we have any pretrial issues we need to address, counsel?
Judge, I believe we've got a plea to do today.
That is correct, Judge. Mr. Harpo did send me some plea paperwork last week. I'll let Mr. Cano translate.
Primero les preguntó el juez si estaban listos para irse a juicio. Dice que no, que en realidad que ya llegaron a un acuerdo. Su abogado, el señor Cabañas, dice que efectivamente le mandaron a él todos los documentos sobre este acuerdo con el Estado.
And I visited with my client this past Saturday, Judge. And before we signed the plea deal, there was two issues that I forgot to discuss with Mr. Harpold before we moved on to the actual plea.
Dice que lo fue a visitar a usted este sábado pasado para que firmara los documentos, pero parece que todavía tiene dos cuestiones que están pendientes que tiene que comentar con el señor Harpold.
So, Judge, if I could get one more reset to discuss with Mr. Harpold, those two issues that I have, but I do have the plea paperwork ready. It's just a matter of me emailing Mr. Harpold or getting him on the phone for about no more than 5 or 10 minutes.
Entonces, básicamente está pidiendo una prórroga para poderse comunicar. El señor Harpold, que es el fiscal del estado, dice que ya, aunque ya tiene todos los documentos listos, en realidad quiere platicar por teléfono con el señor Harpold, cuestión de 5 o 10 minutos para arreglar estas dos cuestiones. Entonces le está pidiendo al juez una prórroga.
Do you think you can get that done by this Friday?
Let me double check on that, Judge, real quick. Let me see my calendar.
Le pregunta a su abogado si él cree que puede tener ya todo esto listo para el viernes. Su abogado dice que va a checar su agenda.
Not by this Friday, Judge. I can visit him again on the weekend and have it ready by next week.
Dice que no para el viernes porque lo voy a ir a visitar este fin de semana, pero que ya tendría todo listo para la próxima semana.
Mr. Harpold, when would you like to set it?
Whatever's convenient, Judge. I'm looking at the calendar right now, and
why don't you and Mr. Cabañas just get together and you pick a date and put it on the docket?
That sounds great.
Básicamente le está pidiendo al fiscal, al señor Harpold, que se comunique con su abogado, el señor Cabañas, que chequen sus agendas y que ya que lleguen, se pongan de acuerdo en una fecha, que lo pongan en el calendario de la lista de casos.
You understand, Mr. Ramirez?
Sí entendió, ¿verdad? Lo que pasó, señor Ramírez. ¿Sí entendió?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have anything else to take care of?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
Algo pendiente, dice que no, entonces le agradece a usted, señor Ramírez, ya se puede retirar.
I'll bring Waivers.
Alfonso, do you have anybody else?
Yes, Your Honor. I have one more. His name is Jose Manuel Gomez.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. Sorry about that.
That's okay, Judge. I can wait around.
Thanks.
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. Do you need me for another case?
I believe there's one more. Let me look. Toward the back somewhere.
Yes, Your Honor, it's Trejo Hernandez. Ivan Trejo Hernandez.
Mr. Cano, if you can bear with us, what we'll do is right after whoever they're pulling down comes out, we'll get them to pull the other person that we need you for.
Don't worry, Your Honor, I'll be here.
Thank you. And if you can hear me in the jail, we're going to jump out of order for just a minute after Mr. Weber.
Okay,
The next person we're going to need is Mr. Ivan Trejo Hernandez. That way we can, our interpreter can move on to another court.
yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Weber, how are you?
Pretty good, yourself?
Doing all right, thank you. Court will call cause number B19, 517, 518, 519, and 718. State of Texas versus Alan Weber for purposes of pretrial. What say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
And I'm sorry, I said pretrial. These are actually set for 2801s. So for purposes of a 2801, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
None from the state, Your Honor.
None at this time, Your Honor.
I've had some motions filed, but I think they need to go on a contested docket. I just want to see when we get that set.
We talked about that, Alan. We'll get that on a contested docket, and that today's not that day.
That way we can get that set. I mean, 23 months is kind of ridiculous, you know.
Mr. Ruckin, do you need a special contested setting?
We do, Your Honor.
All right, let's set it on March 26th.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you back on March 26th, Mr. Weber.
Thank you.
Kurt,
Yes.
just real quick, are those motions to suppress, or do you, if you can't talk about it right now, then we'll just talk about it a little bit later, but,
Same motion, so I'll clean them up a bit.
okay.
Yes.
And then we'll just talk about it.
Brad, I'm showing that this is an agreed plea. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
This is the Mr. Trejo, correct? Yes, okay.
And he is not a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
Your Honor, could I have that case number for Mr. Trejo, if you don't mind?
It is B20-129.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Mr. Cano, when you introduce yourself, if you don't mind, will you ask him if he goes by Mr. Trejo or Mr. Hernandez?
Sure.
Thanks.
Señor Trejo Hernández, ¿me escucha?
Sí.
Mi nombre es Sergio Cano, soy el que tengo la mano levantada, voy a ser su intérprete. ¿Me escucha? Me pregunta el juez que le pregunte a usted, ¿lo conocen como el señor Trejo o el señor Hernández?
Hernández.
Hernández, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Hernandez.
Buenas tardes, señor Hernández, dice el juez.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Court will call cause number B20-129, the state of Texas versus Ivan Trejo Hernandez.
La corte va a llamar ahora al caso B20-129, que es el caso del estado de Texas contra el señor Iván Trejo Hernández.
For purposes of an agreed plea, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Para
First-
llegaron a un acuerdo, le pregunta a las dos partes qué tienen que decir. Las dos partes dicen que están listas.
First document we need to go through, counsel, is the 3914 Discovery, Disclosure, and Compliance Form, which purports to have each of your signatures. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
El primer documento que van a revisar es el que le llaman el 39.14, donde básicamente le dicen a su abogado que le entregaron todas la información que tenían sobre usted. Le pregunta al abogado que sí es cierto y que sí lo firmó y dice que sí.
To the best of your knowledge, has the state received all the discovery from law enforcement and forwarded the same to the defense?
Yes.
Le preguntan a su abogado si hasta donde él sabe el Estado le entregó todo al fiscal y el fiscal le entregó todo a su abogado. Dice que sí.
To the best of your knowledge, Mr. Ferguson, have you received all the discovery?
Yes.
Y le preguntan al señor Ferguson si hasta donde él sabe él recibió toda esta información y dice que sí.
The first document we will go through, Mr. Hernandez, is entitled Defendants Plea of Guilty, Waivers, and Admonishments.
El primer documento que quiero revisar con usted, señor Hernández, es un documento que se llama el acuerdo con usted, las renuncias y las advertencias.
I'm going to show you this document. Do you recall going through this document with your attorney?
Le voy a enseñar este documento y le quiero preguntar si usted se acuerda que revisó este documento con su abogado. Señor Hernández, ¿sí lo vio? ¿Y sí lo revisó con su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you understand this document?
¿Sí entendió lo que decía el documento?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that you have a right to a trial by jury?
Y sí sabe usted que usted tiene derecho a tener un juicio conjurado, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that you have a right for your attorney to cross-examine the state's witnesses and to call your own witnesses?
Y también sabe que usted tiene el derecho a que el abogado que usted contrató pueda interrogar a los testigos del Estado y a traer a sus propios testigos. Sí lo sabe, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that you have a right to appeal?
Sí sabe usted que tiene un derecho de apelación, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that with an agreed plea, you're waiving all three of those rights?
Pero sí sabe usted que cuando llega usted a un acuerdo con el Estado, usted está renunciando a estos derechos que le acabo de mencionar. Sí lo sabe, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
In addition to that, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent?
Además de todo esto, usted sabe que tiene el derecho a mantenerse callado, ¿verdad?
No one can require you to waive that right, but you can in fact waive it.
Y nadie lo puede obligar a usted a renunciar a ese derecho, pero usted sí puede renunciar a ese derecho. Sí lo sabe, ¿verdad?
Sí, señor.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you understand that right?
¿Sí entiende usted ese derecho?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this document, it purports to have your signature in 2 locations. Is that your signature in both?
En la página 3, aquí hay un lugar donde usted tienen 2 firmas. Le pregunto, ¿esa es su firma?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Your second signature appears below a paragraph entitled Judicial Confessions and Stipulations.
Su segunda firma aparece abajo de un párrafo que dice cuáles son sus confesiones judiciales y sus estipulaciones, ¿correcto?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by signing this paragraph, it's just like you stood up before the court, raised your hand and said, I did what the state's accused me of doing?
Sí sabe usted que cuando firma este documento es como si usted apareciera frente a mí, levantara su mano derecha y diría, sí señor, yo sí hice esto de lo que me acusan. ¿Sí lo sabe? No lo escucho.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Attached to the back of this document marked as State's Exhibit A is a copy of the grand jury indictment that purports to have your signature. Is that your signature?
Y ahora le enseño en la parte de atrás donde dice la prueba A. Aquí es la acusación del Estado. Le pregunto, ¿esta es su firma?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Are you asking the court to accept as true and correct this grand jury indictment?
Y usted quiere que yo acepte este porque esta es la acusación verdadera, ¿verdad?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ferguson, do you feel like your client understands his rights, waivers, and admonishments?
I do.
Le pregunto a su abogado si él cree que usted entiende cuáles son sus renuncias, sus advertencias, y dice que sí.
Mr. Hernandez, you've been charged with theft between $30,000 and $150,000.
Señora Trejo Hernández, lo están acusando de un robo de entre 30 a 150 mil dólares.
Do you understand this charge?
¿Sí entiende de qué lo acusan, verdad?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a third-degree felony with a range of punishment of 2 to 10 years incarceration and up to a $10,000 fine.
Este es un delito mayor de tercer grado que tiene como posibles castigos de 2 a 10 años y una multa de hasta $10,000.
Do you understand this range of punishment?
¿Sí entiende usted este posible rango de castigos, verdad?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
In understanding this charge and this range of punishment, how do you plea?
Entendiendo cuál es el cargo y este posible rango de castigos, yo le pregunto, ¿cómo se declara usted?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Se está declarando culpable en forma libre y voluntaria.
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Se está declarando usted culpable porque es culpable, ¿verdad? No por otra razón.
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you a citizen of the United States?
¿Es usted ciudadano de los Estados Unidos?
No tengo permiso de trabajo.
No, I just have a working permit.
Do you understand that by entering a plea of guilt in this case, there may be immigration consequences up to and including deportation?
Sí sabe usted que como no es ciudadano de los Estados Unidos, al declararse culpable frente a este cargo, puede haber posibles consecuencias migratorias que incluyen hasta la deportación. ¿Sí lo sabe?
Sí, su señoría. Y quisiera, pues, pagar con mi probation los cargos y hacerme responsable de los cargos.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand, and I would like, through probation, to make myself responsible and pay for these charges.
Thank you. Do you understand, or let me see. Given that there may be immigration consequences, do you still desire to plead guilty?
Sabiendo usted que puede haber posibles consecuencias migratorias, de todas maneras usted sí se quiere declarar culpable, ¿verdad?
Señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
You feel like your client's competent and capable of assisting you in preparation for trial?
I do, Your Honor.
Le preguntan a su abogado si él es competente y si lo ayudó para prepararse para el juicio, y le dice a su abogado que sí.
Is there a plea agreement?
Yes.
Pregunta cuál es el acuerdo con el Estado, dicen que sí hay uno.
2 years deferred adjudication probation, restitution in the amount of $18,500.
Le van a dar como una aprobación con fallo diferido de 2 años y un pago de indemnización de $18,500.
Mr. Ferguson, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Le preguntan a su abogado, señor Ferguson, si eso es lo que entendió por el arreglo y dice que sí.
Mr. Hernandez, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Ahora le pregunto a usted, eso es lo que usted entendió por el acuerdo, ¿verdad?
Señor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that a plea agreement is an agreement between you and the state?
Si entiendes que este arreglo que hizo es entre usted y el Estado, ¿verdad?
It is not
Yes.
binding on the court, but if the court did not accept your plea agreement, you would have the opportunity to withdraw your plea of guilty.
El juez le avisa que él no tiene que aceptar este acuerdo, pero si él no acepta el acuerdo, usted tiene el derecho de retirar su declaración de culpable. Sí lo sabe, ¿verdad?
And enter a plea of not guilty and proceed to trial.
Y en ese caso, usted se podría declarar no culpable y podríamos proceder a juicio. Sí lo sabe, ¿verdad?
Sí, señor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you asking the court to follow the plea agreement?
¿Usted quiere que yo acepte este acuerdo?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to enter a finding of guilt.
Yo sí encuentro que hay evidencias más allá de cualquier duda de que sí hay suficiente evidencia para declararlo culpable.
Pursuant to your plea agreement, will defer any such finding of guilt for a period of 2 years.
Pero de acuerdo con lo que usted llegó al acuerdo con el Estado, vamos a retrasar un posible fallo de culpabilidad por 2 años.
You'll have court cost in the amount of $365.
Va a tener que pagar el costo del tribunal, que es por un total de $365.
Restitution in the amount of $18,500.
Una indemnización por un total de $18,500.
Now, I want to take a step back and talk about deferred adjudication for just a moment, please.
Pero quisiera tomar un momento para explicarle bien a usted qué quiere decir esto del fallo diferido.
Mr. Hernandez, do you understand that if you successfully complete all your terms and conditions of probation, not only will you not have a finding of guilt, but you may be entitled to file a motion for non-disclosure?
Sí quiero decirle, señor Hernández, de que si usted cumple con todas las condiciones de esta supervisión que le llaman el fallo diferido, no solo no va a ser declarado culpable, sino que usted puede hasta pedir una solicitud para que no se dé a conocer esta información al público.
Do you understand that the flip side of the equation is that if you do not successfully complete your terms and conditions of probation, you're subject to the full range of punishment?
Pero por el otro lado, yo quiero decirle que si usted no cumple con todas las condiciones de su libertad supervisada, usted sería sujeto hasta el total del posible rango de castigos que le dije. Sí lo sabe, ¿verdad?
Sí, señoría, y también quisiera decir que con todo mi corazón deseo hacer todos los pagos que se tiene que hacer. Doy mi palabra porque sé que no he sido una mala persona, hice una cosa mal que no estaba bien, lo acepto, lo reconozco como hombre, pero también tengo familia y tengo un padre que no puede trabajar y una familia que mantener. Y deseo poder brindarles todavía con trabajo y esfuerzo y poder ayudar dentro de lo que a mí respecta a este país que me ha dado mucho y lo agradezco.
Yes, Your Honor, and from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that I do want to pay for everything. I am not a bad person. I just made a mistake, but I am a family man and I need to support my family. I need to work. I will put all my effort. I also have a father that cannot work, but I want to do my best to pay back to this country that has given me so much.
Thank you.
Gracias.
So, ¿cuándo podría salir?
When do you think that I could be released so I can start working?
And be patient just a minute. Let me go through the last document, please.
Tengo un poquito de paciencia. Ahorita le tengo que explicar otro documento.
Attached to the back of the judgment is an order granting community supervision. Did you have a chance to go through this document with your attorney?
Aquí en la parte de atrás está lo que le llaman la libertad supervisada o probation. Yo quisiera preguntarle si usted revisó este documento con su abogado.
Sí, sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand this document?
¿Y si entendió usted este documento? Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that this order contains all your terms and conditions of probation?
Sí entiende usted, ¿verdad? Que aquí están todos los términos y las condiciones de su libertad condicional, ¿verdad?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that your terms and conditions of probation include a $60 per month probation fee?
Sí entiende usted que dentro de estas condiciones de la libertad condicional hay una cuota mensual de $60, ¿verdad?
Sí, eso sí.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand your terms and conditions of probation include a one-time $50 Crime Stoppers fee that's due within 6 months?
Sí entiende usted que también como parte de estas condiciones hay una multa de $50 que hay que pagarle a Crime Stoppers, ¿verdad? Y que tiene 6 meses para pagarla. ¿Sí lo sabe?
Sí,
Yes.
sí.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're subject to random urinalysis and drug test at your own expense?
Y sí sabe que usted le pueden hacer pruebas de drogas y de alcohol en forma aleatoria y usted tiene que pagarlo, ¿verdad?
Claro que sí,
Of
señoría.
course, Your Honor, yes.
Do you understand that by going on probation, you're agreeing to a search of your person, your residence, your vehicle, or any electronics?
Y sí sabe, ¿verdad? Que cuando usted está en probation, lo pueden hacer una visita sorpresa para revisar tanto a su persona, como su casa, como su vehículo y cualquier dispositivo electrónico que tenga, ¿verdad? Sí lo sabe.
Claro que sí, señoría.
Of course, yes, Your Honor.
Given the large amount of restitution due, I'm not going to order any community service.
Debido a que esta indemnización es muy grande, no voy a pedirle que tenga usted horas de servicio comunitario, no las tiene que hacer.
It's more important that you work to be able to pay the restitution back to the victim.
Porque es más importante que usted pueda trabajar para poderle pagar esta indemnización a la víctima.
Claro que sí, señoría.
Of course, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta?
Nada más la que le había dicho antes, que cuando puedo salir, que sea posible para empezar a trabajar. Tengo días de que pues tengo que pagar mis biles también y mi familia está muy desesperada. Ya no tengo aquí yo dinero y necesito trabajar.
Just the one I told you previously, Your Honor. I would like to know when is it that I can get out, because, you know, I need to start working. I need to pay my bills. Even now that I'm here, I have no money left over here. So I just need to start working.
You should be able to get out today.
Yo creo que puede salir hoy mismo.
I appreciate it. Thank
As
you
soon
so
as-
much, señorita.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
As soon as you're released, please go across the parking lot and report to the Adult Probation Department.
Pero por favor, en cuanto lo dejen salir, atraviese el estacionamiento y preséntese ahí con el Departamento de Libertad Condicional de Probation, ¿ok?
Claro que sí.
Yes, of course.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Hernandez.
Buena suerte para usted, señor Hernández.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
You may. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harris.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Court will call cause number B2002 and B19321, State of Texas versus Andrew Harris, for purposes of pretrials. For purposes of the 2801. What say the parties?
It's ready.
Fence is ready.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, you want one more pretrial before we go on the contested docket, or?
That's fine.
All right, the court will reset both of these cases for April 5th, and then at that point, we'll figure out how we're going to proceed.
just get with me, Mr. Rudkin, about this case to see what we can do.
I will.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Next guy may be a little challenging. That's all right. So let me have one of them. I'll make docket notes in one. Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Roberts.
How's it going, sir?
Court will call cause number B19-528, 19-909, 2197, and 19-529. The State of Texas versus Clay Roberts. For purposes of a 2801 hearing, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
None from the state, Your Honor.
None from us, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, can you appoint me co-counsel on these cases, please? So I can be heard, because I have raised these issues 14 days prior to this hearing, and I can't seem to get any of my motions heard or writs.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say anything more right now, Clay. We talked about putting these on a contested docket, and today's not a contested docket, okay?
All right.
Do you need a contested docket, Mr. Ruckin?
Yes, Your Honor. 326, I'm assuming.
Do we still have room on 326, Mr. Rosenbach?
I don't have it with me right now, but I'll mark it down, and then if there's something else, Mr. Rudkin and I will work together to make sure that we get it on the docket to be heard. I just don't have it.
Hang on real quick, and I'm gonna have the district clerk look at the computer docket.
Okay, thank you.
Is that a full day we have or a half day? I don't think so.
What about? Your Honor, my office is telling me that on 331, we had those special contested settings, that we should only have one other case right now, Mr. Rittenberry, I believe. Is that correct, Stephen? I'm sorry, I can kind of hear you.
Was 331 a full day or a half day setting?
I think that's a 9.
Yeah, 331's a 1:30, Judge.
Oh.
Okay, and 326 is all day. Is that correct?
Checking on that.
Let me look at my calendar.
326 is an 8 o'clock Friday morning, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's a half day also. What did you have on the? We already had J.C. Vickers and who else? Okay, and who do we have on the 31st? Oh, good Lord.
2 hours.
Right.
Okay.
Not including what we said today.
Sunday, Monday. Let's do this. Let's put it on the contested docket on April 7th. Because the other two dockets are they already have more cases than the time will allow. So, adding it to either one of the other two would just be a false picture. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
There'll be
Thank
an accident, or do we know?
All right, we'll set the contested motions on April 7th. And be sure and mark it off for a couple hours, please. Okay, what else do we have to address?
Nothing from the state.
That's it from us.
All right, Mr. Roberts, we'll see you back on April 7th, and we'll see if we can work our way through your motions. Thank you. It's like Lonnie Ross is next, B19-352. Mr. Harpold, you trained your old office mate well. He's in here making faces at me.
Who is that? Oh, yes. He who shall not be named.
Yes.
Well, now you know how it feels to have been in my shoes for all those years.
I've heard a few stories.
Yeah, I'll bet.
How are you, Mr. Ross?
Doing all right, sir.
Good. Court will call cause number B19-352, the state of Texas versus Lonnie Ross for purposes of pretrial. Let's say the parties.
Yes, sir.
I don't see Ms. Perry. I don't have anybody digging in. I had a couple earlier, but they weren't identified. I don't have anybody now. No, I don't have any notes. Well, Mr. Ross, we're going to have to try to find your attorney. She's missing in action.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see if we can maybe get you back in front of the court this Friday, okay?
All right. This was, my bad, sorry, before I let you go, this was a setting, because I know that she had put in a motion to withdraw as my counsel because I had wrote her up, but I was just kind of stressed and, you know, I've been locked up since June 12th of 2019. I've just kind of been wanting to get this ball rolling. Parole had saw me and told me that they were going to release me. So I had wrote her up because I felt like she wasn't really representing me. And then she had saw me that next day. And I think that she put in a motion to withdraw as my counsel. So I'm not sure if that's what.
Okay. I'm sorry. It looks, you're correct. It looks like Mr. Ferguson was appointed to replace Ms. Perry.
All right.
I was.
You were. I take it you don't have a copy of the motion yet? Of the order?
I haven't seen it. Now, that doesn't mean that it wasn't sent to me. Since the snowstorm, I've been having heck with my email.
Okay. Well, this is Mr. Ross. He's now your client.
Okay. Mr. Ross, my name is Brett Ferguson. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, sir.
And Brad, it's B19-352 is the cause number.
Yeah, I'm not prepared today, Your Honor. If that wasn't obvious.
Yeah,
Okay.
figured that much.
All right, let's reset it for April 5th. That'll allow you to get time to get your hands on all the discovery and talk to the DA and talk to your client and figure out where you really stand.
I will, Your Honor. I'll get all that started today. The
All
letter
right,
of
Mr.
record.
Mr. Ross, Mr. Ferguson will be out to see you.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. When he started saying that, I thought, I remember. Cole, you're up next.
All right.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Judge?
Doing well, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilkins.
How you doing?
Court will call cause number B20-175, the state of Texas versus Robert Wilkins. For purposes of a 2801 hearing, what say the parties?
It's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
None from the state.
And nothing for defense, Your Honor. We're just requesting, since Mr. Wilkins is in custody, to be put on the next jury trial docket.
Is there any reason Mr. Wilkins can't be on the April trial docket?
No reason from the state, Your Honor.
And no reason from the defense, Your Honor. We would like that earlier setting.
All right, let's set an April 5th pretrial and April 6th trial.
Right.
And Mr. Wilkins, as long as the Supreme Court doesn't shut us down again, we'll be off to the races.
We will? Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Right.
All right.
That's everything for me this afternoon, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
All right, y'all gentlemen, have a good day.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. Court will call cause number B20-377, State of Texas versus Charles Smith. For purposes of pretrial, what said the parties?
State's ready.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense.
All right, it looks like your next scheduled appearance for the court will be April 5th for a 2801 hearing. So we'll see everybody back next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Hi, Patrick. How's it going?
Hey, good to see you, Ben. I haven't seen you on this side of the V in a while.
Right. Well, it was November is when I started. It's
Yeah.
good to see you. And perhaps we can get in contact about this case and see what we can do.
I'd like to do that. I'll give you a call.
Okay. Talk
Thanks.
to you later.
Brett, you're up next.
Looked back through my file, Your Honor, and actually I did. I've already submitted my letter on him. It just didn't make it on my calendar. And then I didn't notice it because it didn't have my name on the document.
There you go. Good afternoon, sir. Court will call cause number B20-208, the state of Texas versus Jose Gia. Purposes of pretrial, would say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor. We have no motions or matters to be heard today.
State.
None from the state, Your Honor.
All right, our next scheduled appearance for the court will be April 5th for a 2801 hearing. So we'll see everybody back at that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I'll come out and see you, Mr. Gia.
This one. Who is this? Do we know? Okay. We'll deal with it here in a minute. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How you doing, sir?
Good. Court will call cause number B20-581, state of Texas versus Keaton Vasquez.
Judge Keaton Vasquez got reset.
Correct.
This is Mr. Gomez.
Okay.
Do this on or take
Who?
Okay. I had a question by that, Your Honor, because it was Eduardo Jimenez said he represented Keaton Tyler Vasquez, and then also there's another one that had Carly Cannell on it. So
I have nothing in the file with Mr. Jimenez's name on it.
he showed up earlier in the docket. I don't know, but
well, you might tell Mr. Jimenez, please file a motion to substitute if he got retained on this.
I'll shoot him an email for sure, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear Amber, Ben?
I didn't hear
He
her.
said
no.
that basically the clerk is sending multiple emails saying, please file a letter of rep.
Okay. Well, I'll add to that.
But add to that. Tell him until I get a letter of rep, I'm not going to allow him to present himself in court to represent this guy. Okay.
I will do that.
Okay, thanks. Can I have Mr. Gomez's file, please? Thanks. Court will call cause number B1676 and 16812, State of Texas versus Jose Gomez. Looks like for purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
Nothing from the defense, Judge. Just to let the court know, I did confer with Mr. Rosenbach last week by phone and email. I visited with my client this past Saturday at the Kerr County Jail. We may have a resolution. We're just working on some issues, Judge.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's put him on the April 5th docket, and then if y'all reach a resolution sooner, we can always jump in.
Absolutely, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ben. I'll follow up with you.
Yes. Bye.
Go ahead, Mickey. Cheryl, how are you?
I'm good, Judge. How are you?
Good. Did your property survive the ice storm?
We were very blessed, yes.
Good.
I do think that unidentified person in the waiting room earlier was probably me.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. I was a passenger in my daughter's car on the way back after another meeting, and so I was on my phone. I didn't think you would reach me before I got to the office, but I wanted to be there just in case.
No, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Lopez.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Court will call cause number B20-449, the state of Texas versus Jim Lopez. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues to address?
None from the state, Your Honor.
We've discussed a discovery issue, but I think that that's something that we can get resolved between ourselves, and if not, we'll file something.
Okay.
So nothing today.
Nothing today? Okay, we're set for a 2801 on April 5th, so we'll see everybody back then.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank y'all.
And Cheryl.
Yes.
If you just email me again, or if you email me, because I'm gonna be still on this docket about this particular case.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Brad, it looks like Mr. Wilson will be up next.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Court will call cause number B20-318, 319, 320, and 321. State of Texas versus Robert Wilson. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
For pretrial, we're ready, Your Honor. We have no motions. We're still waiting on the drug analysis.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, let's set our next pretrial on May 3rd and see if we have them by then. All right, we'll see you back on May 3rd, Mr. Wilson. Thank you.
Your Honor, the next guy that I have is, he's been found incompetent. It's Richard Dino Gonzalez. And the last time we didn't even bring him out. We were just waiting to see if he had gone. You know, we put him on here, of course, just to keep track.
So you don't need him?
I do not need him, Your Honor.
Who is
Stephen,
that?
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Who is it that y'all don't need?
Richard Gonzalez.
Let me find him on here.
The second to last page.
Okay. Have y'all received any kind of communication on when we might have a bed available?
I haven't.
Ben, have you seen anything?
I would have to check with Sylvia, Judge.
Okay.
We've just, that there's several people waiting still, but I don't remember his name right off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, we don't need him out here, but looks like the next guy up will be Mr. Galindo.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, with that, since we're going to pass on him, may I be excused?
You may. Thank you, Brett.
Y'all have a good one.
Kurt, you'll be up next.
All right, here I am.
Court will call cause number B20-85, the state of Texas versus Adam Galindo. Purposes of a 2801, what say the parties?
It's ready.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any motions or announcements?
None from the state, Your Honor.
None from us at this time, Your Honor.
All right, it looks like our next scheduled pretrial will be April 5th. So we'll see everybody back on April 5th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kurt, next one's yours too. Michael Espinoza.
Michael Espinoza, got it.
Only 4 pages left. Good afternoon, Mr. Espinoza. Court will call cause number B19-864, the state of Texas versus Michael Espinoza. For purposes of 2801, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
None from the state.
None from us at this time, Your Honor.
All right, it looks like our next scheduled appearance is April 5th for a pretrial. So we'll see you back on April 5th, sir. Thank you. Mr. Garcia will be next. Thank you. I think there's Tylenol in there if you need it. What happens when you get all skinny, you start getting headaches and stuff, you don't feel good. Give me just one moment, please. Court will call cause number B20-104, the state of Texas versus Isaiah Garcia. For purposes of 2801, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any motions or announcements?
None from the state.
None from the defense at this time.
All right, it looks like our next scheduled appearance for the court is April 5th for a pretrial. So we'll see everybody back on April 5th. Thank you. Oh my God. Whoa. Who is this? What about Michael Miller? Right above it. Right.
Judge, we filed a waiver on Mr. Miller.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you need them, Judge, or no?
Nope, we do not. Mr. Huckabee. Yeah, both protective orders. One of them's related to the murder, and the other one's kind of a real goofy guy. I think it's Smith. Small. There you go. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Mr. Huckabee, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you. Court will call cause number B20-533, 534, 535, 536, and 537. State of Texas versus Dean Huckabee. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
It's ready. You're on mute.
Defendant's ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues we need to address, counsel?
Not at this time, Your Honor. We've been conferring on these cases and hopefully we'll be able to reach a resolution.
That's correct, Your Honor. We don't have anything at this time either.
Okay. The next scheduled appearance for the court is April 5th for a 2801 hearing, so we'll see everybody back then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Please.
Oh, no.
Mr. Gardner's next. Yeah, this part will be ex parte though. Good afternoon, Mr. Gardner.
Good afternoon.
Give me 1 second to get organized here. Just have one case on the docket though, right? Or does it go to the next page? Okay. Court will call cause number B20-423, the state of Texas versus Jerry Gardner. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
It's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
We have any pretrial issues to address today?
None from the state, Your Honor.
We do have some ex parte motions to address at whatever point the court's ready.
Well, I'm assuming you don't want to do that in front of everybody.
No.
Okay. If you would contact Christine and give her a ballpark idea of what kind of money you're looking for,
Okay.
then we can go from there, okay?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, if we don't have anything to address in court, then it looks like our next scheduled appearance is April 5th. And looks like I was just handed some notices that you filed at 3 o'clock. State may not even have these yet, but I have defendants' notice of intent to raise insanity defense. So,
Right. I think we had some difficulty trying to get those filed.
okay. All right, we'll see everybody back on April 5th.
Thank you, Judge.
You bet. And if he has other cases, we'll set them all together so that we can address them all.
He does. He has 4, I believe, total.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused? That's my last one.
You may. Thank you.
Bye, Cheryl.
Bye. I'll get with you tomorrow if that works for you, Ben.
Sounds good.
These. Maybe I need to just put these on my desk. And put them right there.
How's it going, guys?
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Protocol cause number B19-662 and 663, the state of Texas versus Rafael Arredondo. For purposes of a 2801 hearing, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
None from the state.
Well, Your Honor, I do have an announcement. We did raise the issue of competency with Mr. Arredondo some time ago. He was evaluated, I think by Dr. Wood, found competent, but I'm very concerned about his decompensation at this point. Some behaviors reported from the jail and some other behaviors. So I do have some concerns about that. I've not filed a second motion, but I did want to bring that to the court's attention.
They do you have any?
No,
Yeah.
no objections, Your Honor. And Mr. Rudkin has made me aware of some of the things that are concern him, and we don't have any objection to him doing what he thinks he needs to do.
Okay, if you need to file a second motion, file it, and we'll get things started.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Hey, can I file a motion for speed trial? Motion to discovery.
You just need to go. You just need to go through your attorney, Mr. Arredondo.
I don't have an attorney, mister. I've been waiting for a sentence for 2 years. The max sentence they could give me is 2 years. I've been here 2 years. I also would like a motion for 1244B.
Yeah, I would suggest at this point, Raphael, not to say anything more. Okay.
I've been waiting 2 years, man.
April
so
5th.
I don't know what you guys are waiting for.
Yeah, we'll see you back on April 5th. Thank you, sir.
April 5th? Cool. All right.
Ted,
Yes.
on this case, we haven't discussed anything. I mean, I think you just got appointed to this case, right?
Yeah, I was gonna give you a call or talk to you sometime this week on this.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
Yep.
That was right.
What date do y'all want to pick for a contested date for her?
Looks like, well, I don't want to add to those other ones. Why don't we do a 428 and see if we can get a resolution before then? What do you think about that, Ted? Is that okay?
I think that works for me. I think that should be enough time.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, how are you? Judge Emerson?
Good, thank you. Court will call cause number B20-111, the state of Texas versus Kathleen McCann. For purposes of a motion to proceed, what say the parties?
Your Honor, we're not ready on this case. We haven't had a time to confer, but just before the case was called, we would like a reset to 428 for a contested hearing, and hopefully we can get a resolution before then.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reset it for April 28th, and if we reach a resolution sooner, we'll see you sooner, Ms. McCann. Thank you.
Theodore? Talk to you this week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And it looks like we have one person left, Mr. Ellison's client, Stacy Safala.
Yes, sir, she's waiting.
Okay.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You may. Thank you, Ted.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Stephen, is this yours? Muted. You're muted, Stephen.
Yeah, I've got it.
I'd be embarrassed if I did that. It's pretty horrible, you know, Paula.
Mr. Emerson?
Hang on one second.
I need to apologize.
That's pretty bad. Yes, ma'am.
Just wanted to apologize for my actions the first of last month and just really thank you for putting me in jail, giving me a chance to get clean.
Not a problem. I just want to make sure you understand exactly what's going on. Do what's best for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court will recall cause number B19-886 and 887, the state of Texas versus Stacy Zavala for purposes of admonishments in a plea. What say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Judge.
Okay. I don't have a 3914 on either one of these, but on both of these cases, to the best of your knowledge, has the state received all discovery from law enforcement and forwarded the same to the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ellison, to the best of your knowledge, have you received all the discovery on both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection to proceeding with the admonishments together?
No, Your Honor.
No, sir.
Ms. Zavala, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Plea of Guilt, Waivers, and Admonishments. There's two of these. There's one in each case. Did you have a chance to go through both documents with your attorney?
Yes, sir. He came back again today. Back over.
Did you understand both documents?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you understand in both cases you have a right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand in both cases you have the right for your attorney to cross-examine the state's witnesses and to call your own witnesses?
Yes, sir.
And in both cases you have a right to appeal. Do you understand that? You have to answer out loud or the court reporter can't take it down.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And do you understand that you're waiving all three of those rights in both cases?
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent? Nobody can require you to testify against yourself, but you can in fact waive that right.
Yes, sir.
As you look at page 3 of each of these documents, each one of them purports to have your signature in two different spots on page 3. You recall signing both documents on page 3 in two locations?
Yes, sir.
Your second signature on each one appears underneath the paragraph entitled Judicial Confessions and Stipulations. You understand that by signing that paragraph on each document, it's just like you stood up here before the court, raised your hand and said, I did what the state's accused me of doing in both cases.
Yes, sir.
Attached to the back of both cases is a copy of the grand jury indictment for each case. Each of those grand jury indictments purports to have your signature on it. Do you remember going through both indictments with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall signing the bottom of both indictments?
Yes, sir.
And are you asking the court to accept as true and correct both grand jury indictments?
Yes, sir.
In B19-886, did we have the drug results back yet, the lab results?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I'll have, when we come back to enter the final, the order, I'll have one of those prepared and ready, Judge.
Okay.
And I've discussed that with my client, Your Honor, and we have agreed to waive waiting on the drug results.
Is that your understanding, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
There'll be a formal document waiving that you'll see before you come back to court next time, but you understand you have the right to have the alleged drugs tested and have it confirmed that it is what the state says it is? And you understand you're waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
In cause number B19-886, you've been charged with possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 2 from 4 to 400 grams enhanced. As enhanced, this is a first-degree felony with a range of punishment of 5 to 99 years of life and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand this charge and this range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
And are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Cause number B19-887, you've been charged with tampering or fabricating physical evidence with the intent to impair. In this case, as enhanced, it's a second-degree felony with a range of punishment of 2 to 20 years incarceration and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand this charge and this range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and just to make the record clear, the prior conviction enhancement in each indictment alleges the same offense. Are you asking the court to accept as true the enhancement paragraph that's attached to each indictment?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's the plan from here, counsel?
Judge, let me first tell you our plea agreement, and that is on B19-886, 10 years deferred adjudication, $3,500 fine, completion of the Safe P program, no early termination. And then on B19-887, a 10-year deferred adjudication, we're also going to dismiss the FTAs or any FTA that was filed with relation to these cases. Judge, we're asking for approximately a 90-day reset, which I've looked at the calendar and I was proposing, and I haven't discussed this with Rick, but I'm just throwing this out, of May 26th, which is almost 90 days. And if that's agreeable with Rick, I would ask that we reset it to that date. Just we have some logistics to finish up on the plea and preparation for getting her set up in Safe P and things like that.
I concur with that, Judge.
Okay.
And Steve, we didn't talk about it, but
Oh, and Judge, is it a PR bond?
yes.
We need, yeah, Judge, I'm sorry, I neglected to mention that. We're also agreeing to a PR bond that she'd be able to be released today.
That's your understanding, Mr. Ellison?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's your understanding, Ms. Zavala?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go through a couple things before I approve that, because I want to make sure you understand what you're doing, okay?
Yes, sir.
In both of these cases, you've already been admonished of your rights and you've already entered a plea of guilty in both cases. Do you understand that? You already have plea agreements worked out with the state, which are 10-year deferreds, which is a really good plea agreement where if you successfully complete them, you're not going to have a conviction. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's talk about the danger. If I let you out on a PR bond and you do anything to violate your bond or you commit another offense or anything like that, it's extremely likely that your plea agreements will be off the table and you would be subject to the full range of punishment for these offenses. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if I let you out on a PR bond, do you think you can walk the straight and narrow for about 90 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you understand what's at stake, right?
My life. Yes, sir.
That's exactly right. Okay,
I appreciate you, Mr. Emerson.
you're welcome. All right, I'm going to give you a $10,000 PR bond in both cases.
Judge, one other matter, I think you were headed there. What is a deferred adjudication? What are the risks on that?
We'll go through this when you actually plead, but let me explain to you. On a deferred adjudication, and it's like a coin, okay? One side of it, if you successfully complete all your terms and conditions of probation, not only do you not have a final conviction, but you may be entitled to file a motion for non-disclosure. The problem is the flip side of the coin. If you violate you're subject to the full range of punishment, which is up to 99 years or life in this case. You understand that?
I do.
Okay. Please, please, please walk the straight and narrow, okay?
So,
I want to see you be successful. I don't want to see you spend the rest of your life in prison.
Thank you.
And I confirm that she is a US citizen.
All right, we'll
Ms.
see you
Zavala.
back. Go ahead.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
Ms., you're a US citizen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, we'll see you back on May 26th, okay? Be sure and follow all your terms and conditions of release.
Yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor.
I think that's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we complete, Judge?
We are done. Cooked like a goose. Thank you.
You're more
Thank
than welcome.
y'all.
Bet.
Bye-bye.